Step into the past as we uncover the lost grandeur of ancient cities, from the mud brick marvels of coastal Peru to the towering minarets of the Great Mosque. Journey through time with breathtaking reconstructions of the Parthian Frontier, the sacred temple of Artemis, and the world's earliest writing systems, seeing how these forgotten wonders shaped our modern world.
At its peak, Teotihuacan covered about 8 square miles, smaller than ancient Rome, and no one knows who built it. This Mesoamerican metropolis was home to approximately 200,000 people, more than any city in the ancient Americas. Its Pyramid of the Sun stands at 216 feet tall, just over half the height of the Great Pyramid of Giza. But then, the city was gradually abandoned over several decades, and no one knows why. Rediscovered in the 16th century by Spanish conquistadors, Teotihuacan remained a mystery for centuries. Archaeologists later uncovered murals, obsidian tools, and evidence of a complex society, but the city's builders remain unknown. A civilization this advanced and this mysterious still leaves scientists scratching their heads. Did you know the world's first writing system was invented in a city with 1 million people? Around 4,000 years before Christ, Uruk in ancient Sumer was the largest city on Earth, home to tens of thousands of people. It was here that scribes first carved wedge-shaped symbols into clay, the world's first writing system, called cuneiform. Cuneiform had around 600 symbols and was used to record everything from trade to taxes, and even laws. But the earliest writing in Uruk wasn't for poetry or religion, it was used to track barley rations for workers and soldiers. Today, archaeologists have uncovered thousands of these clay tablets, some over 5,000 years old, still readable in the ruins of Uruk. A city of 1 million people, the birthplace of writing, what other secrets could Uruk still hold? Did you know that this ancient city had more rooms than the entire Roman Empire? Chan Chan, the capital of the Chimo Empire, covered 12 square miles, larger than many Roman cities, but not the entire Roman Empire at its peak. At its height, it housed an estimated 10,000 to 20,000 people in adobe buildings that reached up to 4 or 5 stories high, all made from sun-dried mud bricks. No stone was used in the entire city, everything was built from sun-dried mud bricks, a testament to the Chimoes' architectural ingenuity. Despite being made of mud, some of these structures still stand, over 700 years old. Rediscovered in the 1900s, Chan Chan is now one of the largest pre-Columbian cities ever found, and still largely unexcavated. Which ancient city would you visit in its prime? Comment below. Before modern times, the largest arch in the world stood in ancient Persia, and it was approximately 121 feet tall. This was Ctesiphon, the grand capital of the Sasanian Empire, home to an estimated 250,000 to over 500,000 people at its peak. Ctesiphon served as the heart of the Sasanian Empire for several centuries. Its most astonishing feat was the Tak Kasra, the second largest single-span arch in the ancient world, built without a single nail. Despite its grandeur, Ctesiphon eventually fell overrun by invaders and abandoned to the desert. Today, the arch still stands, a silent monument to a lost empire and the ingenuity of ancient engineers. And it was built without a single nail, just stone, skill, and time. What if a city built entirely of mud has stood for over 900 years? At its peak in the 14th century, Gen was home to approximately 20,000 people, a bustling hub of trade, culture, and faith. The heart of the city was the Great Mosque, the largest mud brick building in the world, standing over 90 feet tall. But the city didn't just survive, it thrived. Every year, over 100 workers cover the entire city in a special mud plaster during a ceremony called the crepissage. The Great Mosque was rebuilt in its current form in 1953, but its original design dates back to 1290. How is it possible that a city made of mud has lasted for centuries and still stands today? And scientists still can't explain why it never collapsed, despite storms, droughts, and time itself. What if a city built entirely of mud has stood for over 700 years? At its peak, Gen was a thriving hub on the trans-Saharan trade routes, controlling the flow of gold and salt for over 400 years. The city's crown jewel, the Great Mosque of Jen, stands approximately 130 feet tall and it's made entirely of sun-dried mud bricks. Every year, several thousand people gather for the Crepusage Festival to reseal the entire city with a special mud plaster, a tradition that has lasted for generations. Despite being rebuilt multiple times, the current version of the Great Mosque has stood since 1907 without a single stone or nail. And scientists still can't explain how it has withstood centuries of storms, floods, and time itself. Did you know a city once existed where over 100 languages were spoken? Welcome to Dura Europos. Built around 300 BCE, this Roman military fortress stood on the banks of the Euphrates River. Archaeologists discovered over 40 different languages and scripts found at the site, including Greek, Latin, Aramaic, and Parthian. The city was home to an estimated population of several thousand people, from at least 20 different cultures, all living side by side. What makes it even more astonishing is that a Christian Syrian house church stood next to a Mithraic temple and a Jewish synagogue, all built side by side. Dura Europos was lost to time until archaeologists uncovered its incredible multicultural legacy in the 1920s. Which ancient city would you visit in its prime? Comment below and don't forget to like and share. One of the 7 wonders of the ancient world once stood in this very spot, the Temple of Artemis, standing about 60 feet tall. At its peak, Ephesus was home to an estimated 40,000 citizens, a thriving metropolis of trade, culture, and faith. Its library of Celsus held approximately 12,000 scrolls, one of the most impressive collections of knowledge in the ancient world. But then, in a single night, everything changed. A massive earthquake struck, burying the city under 20 feet of silt. For over 1,200 years, the city remained hidden, its secrets locked beneath layers of earth and time. It wasn't until the 19th century that archaeologists uncovered the grandeur of this lost city, revealing a world that once rivaled the greatest civilizations of its time. And scientists still can't fully explain how such a grand city vanished, leaving only echoes of its glory behind. Did you know a real-life king inspired the legend of Agamemnon? Mycenae was more than just a palace, it was a fortress built to last. Constructed around the 14th and 13th century BCE, Mycenae's walls varied in thickness from 16 to 26 feet, built to defend a kingdom. Its most iconic feature was the Lion Gate, guarded by 2 stone lions. It's one of the earliest monumental sculptures in all of Europe. Mycenae thrived for centuries, but around 1200 BCE, it began to decline, likely due to invasions and shifting trade routes. In the 19th century, archaeologist Heinrich Schliemann uncovered the site and found something astonishing. He discovered gold funeral masks buried with royalty. One was mistakenly called Agamemnon's mask for decades. What if the real Agamemnon was buried there, waiting to be found again? Did you know a library existed over 2,000 years before Rome? This is the story of Nineveh, the world's first city to house a true library. Around 700 BCE, Nineveh was the largest city in the world, covering an area of approximately 7.5 miles in circumference, one of the largest cities in the ancient world. At the heart of Nineveh stood the library of Ashurbanipal, a collection of several thousand clay tablets, many inscribed in cuneiform script. Among its treasures was the Epic of Gilgamesh, the oldest known great work of literature, telling the story of a king's journey to the meaning of life. After the city fell, the library was buried under a building, lost to time until archaeologists uncovered it in 1849. What they found was astonishing, a treasure trove of knowledge, hidden for centuries, waiting to be read once more. Which ancient city would you visit in its prime? Comment below.